Tokyo Jungkook repeated, barely keeping the panic from his voice. Yes, his manager confirmed. CEO Kim specifically requested you. You're assisting him with a new branding presentation. Jungkook felt the color drain from his face. Requested? Why? Did Taehyung just want to mess with him now? Some kind of twisted power game? Don't mess this up, his manager added. This could define your career. Jungkook managed a nod, barely hearing the rest. His fingers were cold around the flight itinerary. He would be alone with Taehyung for 3 days. In a different country. In a luxury hotel. His body still remembered every detail of that night. This was going to kill him. Later that night, in the private lounge. Jungkook had never flown business class before. The seat was practically a couch, and the champagne had a sparkle he couldn't pronounce. But across from him, Taehyung sat with one leg crossed over the other, suit jacket folded neatly, black turtleneck hugging his body like sin. He hadn't said a word since they boarded. Jungkook cleared his throat. Why me? For Tokyo, I mean. Taehyung's gaze flicked up from his tablet, lazy and unreadable. You're talented. Jungkook raised a brow. That's all. Taehyung leaned closer, elbows resting on the armrest. And I already know how you look under pressure. Jungkook flushed. That's you. Choked on his water. Taehyung smirked. At the hotel, Tokyo, the front desk smiled politely. Welcome, Mr. Kim. We've upgraded your suite, as requested. One king-size bed, top floor, city view. Jungkook blinked. One bed before he could protest. Taehyung was already sliding his card through and signing the form. I'll have a card delivered, he murmured with a straight face, but there was mischief in his tone. Jungkook grabbed his suitcase, marching into the elevator. I'm sleeping on the floor if I have to, he muttered. I've seen you sleep. You'd whine about your back in 10 minutes. Jungkook turned, eyes wide. Yeah. I do not whine. Taehyung leaned in, voice dropping low. You make plenty of other sounds, though. Jungkook's jaw dropped. Kim. Taehyung. CEO Kim, he corrected smoothly. The elevator dinged. That night. The suite was absurd. City skyline, soft jazz playing, marble bathroom, and yes, one massive bed. Taehyung loosened his tie and tossed his coat over the armchair like a man who owned the world. And, well, he did. Jungkook stayed near the window, arms crossed, glaring at the city. He refused to look at the bed. You can sleep first, Taehyung offered, voice quieter now. I'll stay out here a while. Jungkook didn't answer. Instead, he whispered, why are you doing this? Taehyung turned. Doing what? Playing games with me. One moment you act like I'm a stranger. The next you're this. Taehyung didn't speak for a moment. Then softly, I wasn't supposed to see you again. Jungkook's chest tightened. And now Taehyung walked toward him slowly, stopping only when they were inches apart. Now, I see you every day. And I remember everything. Jungkook's breath caught. Taehyung reached out, fingers brushing lightly over his wrist, but didn't hold him. I won't cross a line, Jungkook. Not unless you want me to. And with that, he walked into the bathroom, the door clicking shut behind him. Jungkook stared out the window, heart pounding. Because the worst part wasn't that Taehyung remembered everything. It was that Jungkook wanted him to. The bathroom light spilled into the room for only a moment before it faded with a quiet click. Jungkook lay on one side of the massive bed, facing the window, sheets drawn up to his chest. He'd tried to convince himself to sleep on the couch, or even the floor, but Taehyung had already taken the couch, just to prove a point. He's always one step ahead. It was maddening. The bed dipped slightly behind him. He froze. Soft rustling, the faint scent of cedarwood and expensive cologne, and the warm presence of Taehyung settling into the other side of the bed. Not touching. Not speaking. Just there. Jungkook's fingers curled into the blanket. "You're not sleeping," Taehyung murmured. Jungkook didn't turn. "Neither are you." Another pause. "Why didn't you ask for my name that night?" Jungkook blinked at the question. His voice came out quieter than he meant. "Because I didn't want to ruin the moment." Taehyung let out a breathy laugh, low, nearly bitter. "Is that what it was? Just a moment you left before I woke up. What else was I supposed to think?" Silence. Then the bed shifted. Jungkook felt the warmth of Taehyung move closer. "Don't take it personally. I always leave," he said, voice soft but distant. "That's not comforting." "I wasn't trying to comfort you." Jungkook rolled over suddenly, eyes locking with his in the dark. "Then what are you trying to do?" Taehyung stared at him. No walls. No cold expression. Just tired eyes that looked far too human for someone who ruled boardrooms. "I'm trying not to want you." Jungkook's breath caught. And then, Taehyung's hand reached up, fingers brushing the strands of hair away from Jungkook's eyes. His touch was feather-light. But it felt like fire. "You make that impossible," Taehyung murmured, voice barely above a whisper. "Then stop pretending," Jungkook whispered back. Another pause. Then suddenly, Taehyung leaned in. Not a kiss. Just his forehead resting against Jungkook's. Close. Breath to breath. Not quite lovers. Not quite strangers. "You think I'm playing with you," Taehyung said lowly. "But I'm trying to keep you out of something that can ruin you." "Why?" "Because you're rich," Jungkook scoffed. "You think I care about that?" "No." His eyes darkened. "Because I don't do normal. I don't do easy. I don't do love." Jungkook's voice trembled. "And what if I'm not asking for love?" Taehyung pulled back just slightly, enough to look at him. "But I am." Jungkook's heart stilled. "You," he began, but his voice failed him. Taehyung's lips grazed his, barely there, more question than demand. And Jungkook didn't stop him. Because truth was, he wanted this. He wanted him. Even if it ended in heartbreak. Even if this was all it would ever be. That night, Taehyung kissed him again. But this time, it wasn't rushed. It wasn't anonymous. It was slow. And he touched Jungkook like he still wanted him. Like he never forgot. Like he never planned to forget again.